You know, ever since Tom Brady left Foxborough, things have not been the same for the New England Patriots, man. And you remember when we used to have these long, drawn-out debates about who was more responsible to the Patriots being the dynasty that they were, Tom Brady or Bill Belichick? And ever since Tom Brady has left New England, he gave them the deuces. This franchise has not looked the same. And I think it's pretty fair to say that we finally have the answer to who was more responsible to the Patriots' success during the glory days, and it has to be Tom Brady. I mean, he leaves New England and wins another Super Bowl with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, his first season being there, by the way. And then you look at New England, I don't think they've been as bad as what many people in the media keep saying they are. Like, people keep saying, making it seem like ever since Tom Brady left, Bill Belichick hasn't been a great head coach and the New England Patriots have been one of the worst teams in the NFL. Now, people aren't saying that exactly, but that's what they trying to make the Patriots look like. Like, yeah, during, Tom Brady's first season not being there, they didn't make it to the playoffs, but it's not like they weren't a good team that year. They were a really competitive football team. Y'all remember they had Cam Newton that season, and before Cam Newton had to miss a couple of games due to COVID, he was going off. He was looking pretty good, had a pretty good game against the Seattle Seahawks. Y'all remember how that game came down? It literally came down to a goal line stand. Like, Cam Newton was playing at a pretty high level, and a lot of people questioned if the Cam Newton thing was even going to work out. Now, ultimately, in the end, it didn't really work out, but the Patriots were pretty good for the first half of that season. Even when they didn't have Cam Newton, they were pretty competitive. So it's like, I don't really hold that season against Bill Belichick. Like, they didn't really have a lot of money to spend for agency. So it may seem like I'm making excuses, but I'm not really making excuses. Like, yeah, they didn't have a phenomenal season, but at least they were able to be somewhat competitive that year without having, a lot of talent around Cam Newton and a really talented roster. So what did they do the following season? Well, they spent a lot of money in free agency. They bring in John Smith and Hunter Henry, Kendrick Bourne. They made some really good free agency acquisitions that offseason. But ultimately, when the season rolls around, we end up getting surprised when Mac Jones ends up dethroning Cam Newton, fam. Like, he dethroned Cam Newton right before training camp began. That's how good Mac Jones was going into his rookie season with New England. Like, y'all keep making it seem like Mac Jones is a bum. Like, this dude was the best rookie quarterback his rookie year, man. Like, who would have thought that Mac Jones would have had a better rookie season than Trevor Lawrence? Come on, man. Like, everybody thought that Trevor Lawrence was going to come out and shine, man. Like, and he comes out and doesn't look good under Urban Meyer. So you look at Mac Jones, like, it seems like we just, forget about Mac Jones' rookie season like he wasn't a good quarterback his rookie year. But, okay, New England makes it to the postseason. Yeah, they get dominated by the Buffalo Bills, but they still made it to the playoffs. And then you look at last year. Last year was a complete disaster. And a large reason why is because Bill Belichick runs his operation like it's OTF, the family rap group that Lil Durk is the head of. That's kind of how Bill Belichick runs the New England Patriots, man. Like, he never goes outside the organization and really brings in anybody new. So when Josh McDaniels left, this dude ends up replacing him with Matt Patricia, and that's where I believe things start to hit the fan and go left for the New England Patriots. After Matt Patricia replaced Josh McDaniels with Matt Patricia as his offensive coordinator, that's when the New England Patriots started to regress, because that was a boneheaded decision. Like, why would you make a defensive coordinator who's never called plays before, by the way, your offensive coordinator? That makes no sense to me. That was one of the dumbest decisions that I've seen in all my years watching football, and you don't expect that from a head coach of Bill Belichick's caliber. This dude is one of the greatest head coaches, if not the greatest head coach that ever coached this game. And he makes a crazy decision to make Matt Patricia his offensive coordinator, man. Yeah, that offense deserved to be bad last year. And then Mac Jones, Mac Jones has a little bit of personality in him. Like, you just not finna just do anything that Mac Jones doesn't agree with, and when it not work out, him not saying anything. So, of course, we saw him and Matt Patricia getting into it on the sideline, but can you blame him? I mean, Matt Patricia did not know what he was doing. The only good thing about the New England Patriots offense last year was the fact that Ramondre Stevenson was carrying a lot of people's fantasy football squads last year. So shout out to Matt Patricia for that. At least he put Ramondre Stevenson in the offense that let him broke out last year. I mean, Ramondre Stevenson was going on, but outside of that, there was nothing good about New England's offense last season. So the Patriots, where did they start to fall off? When Bill Belichick made that awful decision to make Matt Patricia his OC. And then let's not even get into the fact that, okay, you bring in DeVante Parker, you trade for him. Anytime a team in your division is willing to get you a player, 9 times out of 10, that player is not going to be good, man. Unless you just got an instance where a team just has nobody else to ship them off to, like how Brad Holmes gave TJ Hawkinson to the Minnesota Vikings. But other than that, like, we knew TJ Hawkinson was a good player. But outside of the TJ Hawkinson trade, what's the last time you saw a team trade another player on their roster to a team inside the division that was actually good, man? Like DeVante Parker, he's okay. I mean, he ain't awful. He ain't great. He's a really good 50-50 ball wide receiver. But the problem with the DeVante Parker is the fact that every pass you throw to him is a 50-50 ball. So Mac Jones last season was just dropping back and saying, F it, DeVante Parker somewhere down there. And it was costing him because he kept on turning the football over, man. So you got the fact that Bill Belichick is just inept at being able to assemble elite talent, at least when it comes to the skill position at the wide receiver position. And it's crazy because this was the same dude who traded for Wes Welker, and Wes Welker became the greatest slot receiver of all time. This is the dude who utilized that 2 tight end system with Rob Gronkowski and Aaron Hernandez. Don't get mad at me for saying his name, but let's not act like they wasn't going off that year they went to the Super Bowl against the New York Giants. So I mean, Bill Belichick, I don't know when this dude became blind to trying to find elite talent on offense. But outside of being able to, scope out good offensive linemen, this dude does not know how to build a winning championship caliber offense, and even an offense that's capable of being able to make it to the postseason, man. Like, they're right here on their knees pretty much begging for DeAndre Hopkins. Like, this is the first time I've ever seen Bill Belichick in a situation where there's some legitimate pressure that he may lose his job. Like, this man's out here pretty much waiting for DeAndre Hopkins to sign with them, man. If DeAndre Hopkins doesn't sign with the New England Patriots, it's not going to look good this year, even though we do have a lot of hope in Bill O'Brien, and I think that he deserves the benefit of a doubt. Like, the dude's not a bad offensive coordinator. He's a really good offensive coordinator, just not head coach material. But you look at him calling the plays this season, he's going to be an upgrade from Matt Patricia, who was awful. He was the worst play caller in the league. So if you look at how Bill O'Brien has run his offenses in the past, it's normally been predicated on the run. So maybe he can get this offense going, but when you look at this division, man, they're going against some of the best defenses in the NFL. The New York Jets, the Miami Dolphins with Vic Fangio, and then you're also going to have to worry about the Buffalo Bills defense. Like this offense without DeAndre Hopkins, they're not going to have a shot at being able to have success offensively in this division. Like, the defenses are just too doggone tough, man. Just too tough. So you look at how the Patriots have fallen off. I really think him making Matt Patricia his OC is where we started to see things hit the fan. And the fact that he doesn't have an eye for finding talent at the wide receiver position in the early rounds of the draft is another big reason why the Patriots are starting to fall off, man. Like, you know what they say, it's a passing league, and you need to have receivers to win in this league. Look at the Philadelphia Eagles, A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, and then the 49ers had Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk. The Bengals had T. Higgins, Joe Burrow, Tyler Boyd. And the Kansas City Chiefs had Travis Kelce and Andy Reid. So unless you got an elite offensive mind that's your OC, you're not going to go far if you don't have a good group of wide receivers, man. This ain't the old NFL where you could win with what the Ravens used to win with. You got to go out there and you got to get some elite playmakers on the outside for your QB. And the Patriots have not done a good job of doing that for Mac Jones. Like, Kendrick Bourne is okay, and DeVante Parker is okay, but that's the problem. They got too many okay players on this offense, man. Outside of Ramondre Stevenson, they don't have a dog on the outside who can just go get it, man. Like Joe Burrow, you throw that thing up to what's his name, man? Jamar Chase. You throw that thing up to Jamar Chase, he finna go get it. Same thing with T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd. You need that, and Mac Jones doesn't have that. You saw Stephon Diggs for Josh Allen in the Bills offense when they traded for him from Minnesota. They need a young elite receiver for Mac Jones. And if you can't find a young elite receiver, go out there and get him an experienced veteran. You know what you're getting out of DeAndre Hopkins? Come on, man. This dude ain't no bum. But you look at the Patriots regression, man. At the end of the day, to sum this all up, the fact that he made an awful decision to make Matt Patricia his offensive coordinator, and the fact that he doesn't have an eye for finding elite playmakers on offense over the last couple of years, these are the reasons why the Patriots are in regression right now. The defense is still good. I don't really think the defense has been an issue. Like, you know, the Patriots are always going to have a really good defense, but it's just that Bill Belichick's offenses have not been good. You see why Tom Brady had to get out of there, man. Imagine Tom Brady throwing to Nelson Aguilar. That's crazy. So let me know what you guys think are some of the reasons for why the New England Patriots have regressed under Bill Belichick's watch ever since Tom Brady left Foxborough.